lead up to the trawler's first victim became the elaborate template, the disappearing pets, the phone calls, the rehearsal break-in, but not an assault. This was true of the second victim as well, Sarah Johnson, abducted behind the Tower Records on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks in early January of 1981. Her body was discovered 8 weeks later in a drain pipe at an abandoned construction site on the outskirts of Simi Valley. Her cat had disappeared. She complained to her mother that the furniture in her bedroom had been rearranged, and someone was calling her, breathing into the phone. Not obscene, exactly, just unnerving, but she was never assaulted in a home invasion. Sarah had left the party in Tarzana and drove to pick up a cassette on the way back to her parents' home in Studio City, but she never made it to the Tower Records on Ventura Boulevard. And her remains wouldn't be discovered until the first week in March, found in the same condition and with the same injuries as Julie Selwyn had suffered when she was found in September of 1981, rotting on a public tennis court in a park near Woodland Hills. She had been propped up and splayed against the net, her head just a skull with flesh stretched over it, but with a full head of hair and empty sockets where her eyes had been gouged out, and what had been inflicted upon the rest of her body, what the hideous mutilation represented, we wouldn't find out until the end of the year, when the details were finally revealed in the long article in the Los Angeles Times, having only previously been alluded to because of the grotesque and upsetting nature of the injuries.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by to visit Glen Rock, need crypto, told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
Welcome back to the Gain of Fiction Lab and the Ghost in the Tome Dojo. The dojo has been constructed. So for Gain of Fiction, volume 26, shout out to all you guys who've been checking this out. And for Ghost in the Tome, they are at number,
I think 7.
We think 7.
Yeah. I think 7. Apparently, my archival skills are wanting, so I gotta tighten up.
You know, also can't tag for shit. Like Patreon, you're supposed to like archive categories, and he'll just be making up new categories. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody ever gonna find this
innovation mode.
Just...
Innovation mode, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I will say this: we lose count sometimes. You know who doesn't lose count? The fucking haters, dude. The haters never lose count. They know exactly how many fucking episodes you guys have done, and they know exactly how many we've done. The haters are stooping to crazy lows. They are check your aquarium right now, guys, because the haters took your fish.
Oh no!
They might have put it into a girl's pussy. You know what I mean? They might have taken the fish and done that. Just it's weird. Okay, guys. So they might be stalking you. They might be leaving band posters with numbers on there with pentagrams in your stuff. So the haters are out there right now. They're in beige vans, maybe. Maybe the hater's you. Maybe the hater was you the whole time. Maybe you have self-hate. So
I was thinking that was just my dad who thought that, I kind of liked that band. And...
Yeah, exactly. So you guys probably recognize the voices on here. And if you're an agitator listener, you might recognize me. I don't know. Who knows? But this is a double published crossover fiction aficionado, because it's the most contemporary book that I've done on here. I'll tell you that much. I think, and I don't know about you guys. You guys do a few more recent ones, but this feels fresh. This feels brand new to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think the most recent ones have been probably the Tim Powers book, actually. That you
well, we did No Coincidence, or you did No Coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that's right.
Joint.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That's
exactly. Mine probably was like Jurassic Park or something. I have no idea. I do a lot of old shit. Yeah. So it's this is great. But today we're covering Kelby and Kelby's actually obligated to be on Gain of Fiction for all things Bret Easton Ellis. But I went out of order because I realized this isn't like in order of his novels. This is like novel 0 for him, in my opinion. It's kind of, less than 0. It's actually the making of Less Than Zero, if you really want to go down that route. And I had been bugging these guys. They read a lot. They write books. They do all this stuff. I'd been I'm like, dude, you guys gotta check this one out, man. Like, it's just it is that special. I listened to it last year when we were first starting covering Bret Easton Ellis's catalog. When I got into his podcast and I realized, okay, I think I'm listening to the greatest podcaster ever, like all the time, which I believe is Bret Easton Ellis. And it's such a trip because he serialized this chapter by chapter on his Patreon. And it would be like an hour-long chapter of some pretty vile, gross, nasty shit. And then he would interview somebody that I've talked to, like Sean Stone or something, or Amanda Milius, or I mean, it's insane. It would just, and he has this song, right? So it would, the end of it would be like, and the trawler had sliced off the dog's head and put it inside Rosa's egg white omelet in my fridge. And then all of a sudden you hear his song. It's this acoustic guitar, like Food Network ass song that leads into his podcast. And it's like, man, I just want to talk about the innovation of this. I have never read anything serialized before. You guys have done some serialized stuff on Patreon. I know you guys are moving to more of that model now. So as authors, is this just like the best idea ever, or am I tripping?
It's insane commitment. It's like, especially if you operate like David and I do, you get into an idea and then you find the real idea somewhere along that line. Yeah. So then you got to correct course. And if you're just serializing something and narrating it, like, I guess at the end of it, you can edit it and publish it, do whatever you want, but that's such commitment. Because like what we were doing with Yugen Junk, we're still writing that shit, but differently. We realized somewhere down the road, like, we want to do something else. And so we're not serializing it anymore. So like for him to actually stick to the bit, I'm like, no, it is crazy. It is like, he's a real one for that.
Yeah, and his fans crying about it. They're crying. They're like, "How many more of these in the Patreon thing? Are you gonna write a whole book for me because I listen to you because you write books?" The fuck, dude! I can't stand these people. It make me. Oh, then they go too much gay sex. You a Bret Easton Ellis patron is complaining about the sexual content in Bret Easton Ellis's books.
Okay, yeah, I gotta speak on this real quick because I don't want to jump the gun here because I have an entire archive quote list from Goodreads. But there's one review that I saw where I think this woman read the book and somehow didn't get that he was gay, which seems hard to do. It seems really hard to do.
Tough to do.
But she talks about privileged white people and how he's such a ladies' man, and he's able to please his girlfriend so well, even though he's not interested in her. And I'll truncate that and then go to this other review, which is from what looks like to be a very old woman, that says way too much gay sex. And the funniest part is that gay is in parentheses. Way too much gay sex. Like, have you read, like, this is a broader point that I want to get to, where I feel like if you've never read a Bret Easton Ellis book before and you start reading the Shards and you are shocked by how much butthole licking is in it, I get that. But if you have read one of his books before, which a lot of these people said, a lot of people were like, I was such a fan of his. And then I got to this and all this gay sex, I was really thrown for a loop. I was like, that just makes you retarded. Like, did you read the other books? Because there's plenty.
And I can see somebody stumbling into it as somebody walking into the Bret Easton Ellis pantheon, the Bret Easton Ellis canon, and just being like, "Oh, I heard this was a novel about a young queer man. Oh my gosh, this will be great."
Yeah.
Dude, how funny would it have been if he made himself black in this? Like, if he just completely embodied that archetype.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's not. That's why it's not as popular. I mean, it is. He did well with this, but it's not. If he wrote this book in 1995, it would have flown off the fucking rails. I mean, it would have been like, it would have blown the doors off of everything. It would have been already a movie. I mean, it's going to be a TV show, but it already would have had like a David Fincher ass like movie about it or something. And it's weird because I think there are people that that loved his podcast for like the guests or like the Q&A. And I remember like wanting to go listen to Amanda Milius's interview on there just because it was on there. And I remember like going like, what the fuck is happening at the beginning of this? And it was literally the meeting is the Terry Schaefer dinner before her, where he's having lunch at the Polo Lounge or whatever that is, or Trump's in LA. And I'm like, is he just like riffing right now?
Oh,
like,
so he put this in front of the interviews.
They were these are episodes. These are all episodes. And then an hour and a half interview with Amanda Milius after like Terry Schaefer's thumb pierced my asshole. And then Amanda Milius is on. No, I mean, and then
That's
Sean
crazy.
And then Sean Stone's interview is right after Robert Mallory's aunt and Bret have lunch. Like it's two powerful ass parts of the book.
That's a great ass scene.
Yeah.
Can I touch you? Are you out of touch? I guess I never noticed that much. Uranium lover, I'm live on your wire. Oh, come and take me, whoever you are. He's a lot like you, the dangerous type. She's a lot like you. Come on and hold me tight.
So let's talk about the book though. Let's frame it for people. I don't want to spoil it too much because it actually is somewhat new, but we're gonna spoil it later. So for a lot of people, so Bret Easton Ellis, you'll notice that the main character, the narrator, who we think is autistically reliable at the for almost all of the book, his name is Bret Ellis.
Yeah.
And he goes to Buckley High. But the whole time he is going off of a journal, and that's the beauty of listening to it on his podcast is he actually talks about the writing of it a lot before the chapter. So he will say, I'm going off of this journal that I have. I'm going off of here, knowing, the what was playing at the movie theaters during all these scenes, stuff that happened over 40 years ago. And he is recounting his final year of high school, the summer going into it, and the first month of it, where a very tight-knit friend group is kind of basically turned upside down by this absolute giga Chad serial killer, neoliberal woman's wet dream, Robert Mallory. They won't say that's their wet dream, but it's what they click on Netflix every time for, and would be Robert Mallory. And but it's Bret is the first guy to know that he's weird, or at least to register that he is a psycho. And it is the whole time he's talking about working on his novel and trying to achieve numbness as a feeling, and realizing that the novel that he was writing that was very much straightforward, kind of a horror novel, then turns into numbness because of all the events that happen in here. And now there's lots of things that we're going to cover here. But the whole time there's a serial killer that is later revealed as the Trawler, and the Riders of the Afterlife cult that are kind of hovering over all this and kind of just getting closer and closer and closer to the friend group and then really picking off members of the friend group, or at least Bret's friends, some of his secret little friends, gay lovers and all that. And it is I think it's a phenomenal book. I think it was captivating, especially listening to it in the format. I actually think it's better on audio. This is my second.
It was made for audio for sure.
Mm-hmm. And how do you guys do you guys know like how you do that? Because he's writing it. It's not like he was just kind of like looking at something and just speaking. Like he was writing it as a book. So for somebody who doesn't write like that, like how do you do that?
How do you narrate, or how do you write?
Well, what I mean is like how does I can listen to a lot of audiobooks, but if I'm at work, if I pay attention to something for like a minute that's not the book, I lose everything. Anything that has a plot, a narrative. However, with the Shards, I felt like is it because I know him as a podcaster? Is it because I know his rhythm? Is it because I'm just used to having that in my ear a lot because I'm a faithful listener of his show? Is that why it was so easy to follow in audio format?
Maybe. I also think that, well, I'll ask you because you listened to it on the Patreon. Did he give any hints as to whether he had pre-written the whole book before he started reading chapters on the show?
I think he would write a few chapters and then space them out. I think once he got to like the third act, it was all done already, the start of it. But for a while, it kind of felt like he was just testing the water a little bit. Like, hey, do you guys want to like keep hearing about this shit or something? He's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this book to me, and I think when you look at some of the criticisms of the book that are valid, that don't invalidate how good the book is, but that are valid. When people talk about, oh, I would cut this or I would cut that, it does feel to me like a book that it kind of feels like a first draft. But I think that's tight. I think that the fact that he decides to, okay, I'm going to talk about the route that I take to get from my house to this movie theater or whatever, and all the different roads he takes or whatever. This feels very much like somebody who is typing pretty quickly, and not going back and editing. There are a lot of phrases that are repeated. The fact that these episodes could potentially be spaced out means that he had to repeat certain details that you don't need repeated when you're reading it all in one sitting.
Bi-weekly, mind you. Bi-weekly.
So
2 weeks a chapter, basically.
Yeah, so 2 weeks go by, and then he has to remind you of this. And they left that all in for the book. But I'm beginning to feel that the inclusion of that quote-unquote filler, I think it might actually be a good thing, because it makes it become hypnotic. You start looking for the repetitions of the phrases like the tangible participant and the Gucci bag and the Porsche 911. And you start to get into the rhythm of it. And the way that I read some of it because my Spotify free listening ran out, a whole nother story, but I listened to most of it. And you're able to wash dishes and do laundry and have it playing. And you know when it's time to pay attention, because he's so good at going from this kind of droning first draft feeling rambling into, and then this is the detail that you need, and this is the detail that you need. So I feel like it does feel to me like something that was not streamed. What's the word I'm looking for? Like transmitted, right? Like he beamed it onto the page.
Yeah, I think it was written for audio, because I was thinking that, well, there were certain phrases, just some of the prose, which is something I'm kind of new to audiobooks, listening to them. And I think it's his talent as a narrator. He's a great narrator, and he has that rhythm and a tone that hooks you. But it's also, there were some phrases in there where I started thinking like, this prose, if it was on paper, I don't think I'd fuck with it as much as I am listening to it. But listening to it, the way that it is written is captivating me. Like, it's good as an audio experience.
Sure.
If I was just reading
big paragraphs too.
Yeah.
The way that it's on the page, it's like those rambles that he goes through, those are unbroken paragraphs on the page, just like a wall of text.
Well, it's just like, the different we've talked about different mediums a whole lot and everything, and like when reading, there's a different time experience, there's a different relationship to time when you're reading text on a page. And I think that's why a lot of people will be like, there's so much of this that could have been cut, because they fill in things in their imagination, they like go through it at a different pace. But when you're listening to it, all those little bitty details help guide you through to where, like, I was doing math, I was building a house, I was doing like construction shit while I was listening to it. And I know everything that happened. Like, I was following along the whole time.
Didn't miss anything. That's crazy. I did it twice. There were no revelation. There were a couple kind of like Easter eggs the second time through where I'm like, oh, this is where we start. We'll get to that. But like that's some jumbling around of like who's in charge here, kind of things that were happening. But one thing I'm drawn to about Bret Easton Ellis is that he has like the same musical taste and is the exact same age as my mom. And my mom and my dad like are music aficionados. My dad is like the Sabbath, like Zeppelin guy, but my mom is all this like new wave, like, Split Ends, the Go-Go's, and all these like all of those bands. And so I would like hit her up and like just be like, hey, you heard this song? She's like, oh yeah, I've seen them live at such and such. Oh yeah. And so that part's like really cool to me, and like the fashion of it all. But I also, look, I've read two of his other novels. We've covered them on Gain of Fiction, Kelby and I have, and it's the earnest quality right from the get-go is like, wow, the narrator cares. Because like Bret Easton Ellis, like both books, Less Than Zero and Rules of Attraction, Less Than Zero, the whole vibe is that maybe the narrator cares a little bit, but he doesn't care enough about the people he's around, but he cares enough to want to get away from them, right? Which is also true in the Shards. Rules of Attraction is more so of like an older person being like, look at all these college kids that think this is life or death, all these dumb little like STD tests and shit that they're doing in college. But then the Shards, it's like, no, you don't understand. This is a life or death situation. This is the scariest thing of all time. And to hear him like that, especially like there's times where his voice quivers a little bit, even if like, look, the story, there's so many people, is the story real? Is the story? It's autofiction, guys. Like it's autofiction. Like, but
yes, he's committing to murder.
Yeah, he had a John Wick fucking knife fight with a guy in LA. And you can't find it anywhere. None of that lore ever surfaced.
Bret Easton Ellis is admitting he's going to prison actually now.
Can you imagine a guy who lived on like the 12th floor of Robert Mallory's building and just being like, that was that fool? You know what I mean?
Hey, homie, have you read this book, Los Shards?
Yeah,
it's crazy, boo.
Yeah, it's Miguel. It's Miguel, the guy that works at Buckley High. Miguel. I'm in the book, the chart. He actually got his name wrong in one of the chapters and corrected it. And he said, and I must apologize to Miguel. I called him Hector. I thought Hector was the guy that worked at Buckley. and he goes, but it was Miguel. Good old Miguel. Like, and so it's just, but it's funny.
You should have left all that in
I know
in the version that I listened to.
But that's why I will say the Patreon is the best way to do it. He has a archive chapter list on his Patreon. He has a great producer named Adam, who does like all that stuff and just archives all 27 chapters to where it's pretty easy and clickable. It'll play inside the app and everything. So that was the way I did it and did it. I tend to think that's the best way to do it. But like I said, how earnest the feeling of the book is, and it's weird. Like it's easy to laugh at some of this like dumb high school drama, but the minute you realize like, oh, he's already very self-aware that he's a gay guy in high school with like a girlfriend that like, I don't know, 95% of LA would be like crawling to get to. Mm-hmm. And a best friend who 97% of LA would be trying to get to, and then like two like Chad friends that one of which he fucks, and then the other one is like literally the most popular like state senator football player looking guy ever in Tom Wright. And I was sucked in from the beginning, man. Like I'm just like, yeah, let's go for the ride, dude.
Yeah. And you try to be like, I'm a very I have a lot of class rage, so I feel a lot of bitterness towards rich people. Yeah. But I can't help it. It is compelling to read about super rich people.
So this is interesting because, and I think Bret Easton Ellis might have single-handedly kind of moved, well, not single-handedly, but I think Bret Easton Ellis might be largely responsible for me moving in this direction. I love reading about rich people now. And not even like, oh, these fucking nah. Honestly, now like one of my red flags is when people jump in like, well, they're rich, or it must be nice going riding on daddy's money. I'm like, ooh, hater alert.
Yeah. And there's the bit too that's great in this book where Bret addresses that directly, because his fuck buddy Ryan, who's a football player, Ryan Vaughn actually he hates all the people that they hang out with. Yeah. And he says like, oh, Susan's just a fucking little rich girl and Debbie's got her homo dad's money and whatever. And Bret has a color commentary on it. And he says, Ryan's parents they're not poor. He basically says Ryan's a hater, dude. Like he's not class conscious. He doesn't actually hate the people for their vapidity or stupidity or their money. He hates them because he ain'ts them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I thought the little digs were nice. Like throughout the book, you'll hear him say things like, "This might have been a deal in 2023, but in 1981, nobody cared."
Yeah.
Like when he gets like fucking sucked off by Terry, and he's like, "I know how everything is now, but back then," he's like, "I busted, and I thought I could maybe get a screenplay out of it."
Oh,
Whatever.
That's the thing, man. Like the and that's the next thing I want to get to. You right away. You're introduced to his friend Matt Kellner, who is this like Jewish Spicoli guy who has no friends, essentially, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and he has a pool house. I had a couple friends that were like not that rich, but for some reason had a pool house. Like they were like only kind of rich, but like you never had to go in there. And when Matt eventually dies at the hands of a very brutal murder that we try to solve throughout the book, but when he dies and Bret goes to his house and he's like, I had never been in this guy's actual house before. I was like, dude, I had friends like that where you'd go into their living room. You're like, dude, I fucking have never been in here. And I've only smoked weed in this guy's and like done drugs in this guy's pool house and like it hung out on the front. So, but he's friends with this guy named Matt Kellner, and Matt seems like the kind of the patient zero for the like elastic, aloof, fluid. I'm straight, but I'll suck dick too. Fuck it,
whatever, bro.
Fuck it, dude. Like, So, and I believe Matt is a real person. I believe Matt was like a real friend that he did all this with in high school. Like, because it seems real. You pick the loner who has no friends that ain't gonna tell nobody what you guys do.
Dude, I love the line in this after they're like sucking each other off, and then Bret comes on his chest. And then he goes, I don't think Matt was gay exactly. I'm like, yes, he is.
That's the Ice-T thing. That means you're gay from Law and Order. I know. That one's really
I love
funny.
women, but I have sex with men.
I know. And he's just like this straight up like podhead who's just like getting just like Cheech and Chong level high. I think that's actually how it's referred to. And he's just got a cat out. Poor Alex the cat.
Poor animals in this book. Poor animals.
Animals are not doing well in this book. Short your animal, sell your animal stock if you're starting the Shards. Oh man, it's bad. But you realize like timeline wise too, this is only 10-ish years after the Tate LaBianca murders. In Laurel
that's
Canyon.
true.
So it's actually not that far apart from there. So all the kids are like old enough to at least have heard that story. So you realize like a serial killer just trolling a rich valley or like traversing a rich valley and just taking people out is actually like, that seems like an actual real thing that was happening back. Like we don't have that anymore. That's just not a real thing.
Thank
anymore.
you, Ring.
Ring doorbell cam. Yeah, which is
Appreciate
also a good reason for him to write this novel and be like, this is my time period in that time period, because like you couldn't do it now. You just can't write that book now. Nobody.
It's hard.
Everyone would know who Robert Mallory. Everyone would know who Robert Mallory was. They would dox him. They would know everything that happened in Chicago. It would happen right away, and you have no story. But it
would all be on Facebook.
Yeah, but back on Matt Kellner, I love when Bret this feels like a last novel, because I think he's going to switch to cinema books like Tarantino, which I'm all for. But because you can't do anything after this. This book is just this is where you just blow your load, and it's a real ish kind of experience in his life. And but I love his autistic recollection of like ejaculation and like coming and guys he would log the guys he jerked off to, like the guy from like American Werewolf in London, and then I remember when he was
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, what was the one? Mel Gibson. There was one that I thought was really funny where he was talking about the gay porn that he watches, where like he's like a group of guys and one woman put on a ski mask to commit rapes by sucking a guy's dick, and then the guy's too ashamed to go to the cops because he got his dick sucked by a guy.
I was cracking up, bro.
And he was like, and he describes like jerking off to it and actually just busting everywhere. He's like, yeah, that was my shit. Like that was they don't make them like that.
That's how gay dudes had to do. They had to do like reverse kabuki, where it was a chick playing a dude.
It's so funny, dude. I know. It's like, I think that's something It feels like a last novel when you empty the clip like that, man. Like, because the teenage horniness, and I think women will pick up this book and think it's over the top. But no, when you're 17, it is like, what's that Kendrick Lamar song? Pour up, drink, sit down, drink, but it's jerk off instead of drink. Like it is that. Like some people never move past that, but
some people never. No. Teenager is just total goon mode, and like I would wait for Dad to leave the house, and I'd wait for the lock to click, and I'd take a VHS copy of Desperado out, and I'd be like, "Time to go."
From dusk till dawn.
Anything with Salma
Hayek.
Hayek.
With Salma Hayek, right? She doesn't even have to be doing anything. It's just.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, literally, I remember the David Banner. What was that one song where all the people were working out in the gyms and stuff? Play, the David Banner Play video. Yeah, all day, dude. Yeah, not to David Banner though, of course, but yeah.
I just turn on BET while waiting for the dial-up to load a JPEG. So
and a meta thing is you could have filmed you doing that, and Bret Easton Ellis would have watched you doing that.
God, damn, there's so much calm between all that.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, David. Side note: David Banner should have been an actor. He was great in Black Snake Moan.
That's right. He is in that. He is in that. That's right. I remember him being in movies like randomly or like a movie. Yeah, that was,
he should have kept doing that. Anyway,
absolutely. Set up, rich people this, rich people that. We're doing our rich people things, driving around. We have now our parents are mysteriously on vacation 8 months out of the year. Nobody's home. Even people's parents who are home, their dads are gay and film producers, so it doesn't matter. That's basically, classic Bret Easton Ellis novel. But then everybody is. Buckley is a tight-knit school. I think they said they had 13 people in a fiction class, which was crazy in one line. I was
60 seniors.
60 seniors. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. So it's a tight-knit class, but there's a new kid coming as a senior in his senior year, and his name is Robert Mallory. And already, if you're a Bret Easton Ellis fan, you know that he's gonna be the hottest guy of all time. Like, you just know it because you can tell it's ominous. But like, if he was ugly, they would check out and nobody would care, and he wouldn't go out of the friend group.
He could be the trawler, and he just, he looks like a foot, and Bret's like, I mean, whatever. I didn't pay any attention.
We didn't pay attention. We didn't know he was killing everyone's animals and like a couple kids that we also didn't know. Who cares? Yeah. That would be the story, and perhaps that is the real story. Who knows? Like maybe that actually did happen, and he's like, let me gussy this up a little bit. But but Robert Mallory, I will say. His description of Robert Mallory is the mask, the maniac behind the mask, then the wide angle lens. I really like that. That is like pure sociopath where you can see somebody like plotting their next move while you're talking to them and shit, like that weird like wheel gears turning, like thinking about their next move. You're just like, why? But they still want to have that talk with you. And there's so much dialogue between Bret and Robert, and really Bret and everybody, where it's just like, what are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? Like
that's a huge complaint on Goodreads. That's a huge complaint.
But that's how people fucking high school kids talk, though. It's literally just repeating the question back to you. Like, he really nails Rules of Attraction's the same way, where there's like grammatical errors and like all these like dumb like college burnout stuff. It's like he does adapt his dialogue to like what people would actually be saying, I
think it's that pacing too. Those beats are what are part of what make the audio experience so engaging too. The dialogue, the tape is
Oh,
just
the tape.
side note. It's hard to talk about this in linear order. The fucking tape is the best part in audio form when he takes on that Halloween voice.
Oh, fuck.
It made me shiver. I
It's
like
the scariest thing I've ever heard. I've in audio form. Like, that we will get to that because I want to spend literally time on that exact scene because it's amazing. But on the second night, or I think on the night scene before the school starts, where Bret is just like cruising around. He's listening to Peter Gabriel's Games Without Frontiers, which is kind of an eerie song. And he's it helps if you know the music. I will say, if you're listening to audio, like YouTube the songs real fast, it does help. He actually says at the end that this book is a dream in a sense, and the songs, when he went back and listened to all the music that he wrote down in his journal, and he just has a crazy catalog brain that he would never forget it anyways, that's what made the story happen. So it does help to go listen to the music, like all the split end songs, whether you're a fan or not. But that's that night where he's like knows he's starting school, and he knows there's going to be like some weird new kids starting, and he knows he has to just get through senior year because he's gay and doesn't, but he still has to save face because for some reason it matters. But you realize you thought it mattered too back then too. It's just but the Buckley Griffin mascot is desecrated with fish guts and like entrails and all these there's all sorts of nasty stuff, and it's like you kind of forget how gross he is sometimes, not even sexually, but just like he grew up just reading 70s horror, like mass market paperback horror. That's all he did.
Yeah, fish heads make tits on it too.
Yeah,
like they put. Yeah, I think that is what can be so disturbing about this book in particular, because it is so long and so rambling and so innocuous and sweet at times. He makes you care about like high school relationships. Like, oh my God, is Susan really leaving Tom for
soapy.
Robert?
It's soapy.
Yeah. It's soapy. And then he'll be like, and then the butcher knife sliced off this dude's ass cheek. You're like, what the fuck?
It's Twin Peaks in that way. That's why, like, I love season 2 of Twin Peaks, where it gets super soap opera because of that. It's like, I'm watching a soap opera, like an earnest soap opera.
But we trust
all of a sudden,
we trust Lynch, and we trust Bret Easton Ellis. Not everybody that picks up this book trusts him, which I think is dumb.
I would never recommend this as the first Ellis that you pick up, because honestly, it's been a little while now since we did Rules of Attraction, or at least in terms of like what I've read. It's been a while.
No, it's been a while.
Like it's been several books back, and I was like, I know, like every time I'm like, oh shit, this goes hard when it's an Ellis joint. But the first hour or two of this, I was like, bro, for real? Is anything gonna, oh shit, there it is. And I was still following because I trusted it. We were gonna do this, so it's an obligation. Plus, I trust you. You were like, bro, it's great. And I was like, all right, I'm waiting for it. And I have read Ellis, so I kind of know I know something's gonna happen. But it works. I would not cut anything in the beginning. Having said that, I wouldn't cut anything in the beginning.
No, it's meant to, because what he does these like crazy things like with LA, and he does this in Less Than Zero as well. And I think it's a nice callback to that book, where he can make LA seem like the coolest place in the world, or some like post-apocalyptic coyote desert at any given moment. And in the Patreon, they would add little coyote howling effects and stuff, which was kind of cool. Kind of like at the end of some chapters, it was really cool. But he can make LA, because that is if you go anywhere outside of like LA, like Beverly Hills and all that stuff. If you go to like the outskirts at night, it is just like coyotes and desert and wind, all the winds and stuff. It is like a really lonely ass place. Like when you go outside, and he's really good at setting the scene for when stuff's about to change, just by telling you what LA looks like at the moment.
Yeah, I've been to LA, I think 5 or 6 times. I love that city. I think it's really cool. I way prefer LA to New York. Like if you're, how people are like, do you like LA or New York? LA all day. Easy. But one of the critiques that I saw, I will read one for you now. is and there's a lot of versions of this basically, but they use a quote from his, and it says, "I was on the freeway and I realized in a daze that I was flying through the Cahuenga Pass when I saw the Hollywood cross lit above the Ford Amphitheater, and I found myself racing across the 101 through Burbank and Studio City, and then Sherman Oaks and Encino and Tarzana until I was out in Woodland Hills, where I drove through the new empty parking lot of the Promenade." And the critique is, for someone who from the area, this may be really cool, but for someone like myself on the East Coast, all these driving scenes got a little tedious because I wasn't able to visualize them at all.
Yeah,
Maybe I
'cause
should
you're
have pulled up a Google map.
Yeah, because you're gay.
Because you're gay.
Yeah.
That's why.
I have this thought that like one of the things that makes these iconic cities iconic are the names of their neighborhoods and
Mhm.
streets.
Yeah.
Those are all extremely evocative words. I don't know where Encino is or Tarzan. I know Encino Man.
Mhm.
I don't know where Tarzan is. I
Matt
don't know
Kellner.
Woodland
It's Matt,
Hills.
it's the Matt Kellner movie. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. But that, to me, that paragraph is completely beautiful, and I wouldn't change anything about it. Like,
No,
and
it's
and
true.
describe what? Hills?
I think that's why I'm such a big fan of proper nouns, is because my favorite thing in prose, yeah, we're bringing prose to gain a fiction. The Glen's
I still
favorite
don't know.
thing to
I don't
talk
know what.
about.
I don't know what it means.
my favorite thing in prose is word choice, and so that's what, like, proper nouns are so good, because if you're talking like Gucci backpack, I like the word Gucci, so I like that he keeps saying it over and over. All the direction shit. I've never been to LA. I know it's
Yeah.
a big ass place. I've played San Andreas, which is kind of close, I guess, but like it's. I like all those words. I don't know. I can picture somebody driving around. Do
You
y'all
get the
picture
vibe.
shit? I don't really picture shit when I'm reading.
I do.
Sometimes. Yeah,
I do. Especially
sometimes.
California, I do. I know the state pretty well. So like with a lot of like James Elroy and like Bret Easton Ellis and all that. So when they write about California, I mean, yeah, I don't know all the outs. Like I know Palm Springs. Like when you drive through Palm Springs, he nails that like pretty good. And the topographical, autism that Bret Easton Ellis has is pretty amazing. And I don't know. I think it'd be fun. Like why doesn't that guy, if he's so, I'm from the East Coast and all this stuff. Why
it's a girl.
Yeah,
but yeah.
You don't say. But why doesn't? And I already know the answer. Why doesn't she go out there and drive the routes and see how cool it is? Because maybe it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she won't do that because she's a girl. But,
right. But also, like, can't you just, Glenn? Even if you weren't from LA, listening to that paragraph somehow, and I'm not sure how the magic works quite yet, but you feel it still. Like you're there. You might not necessarily know exactly 100% where there is, but when he says, the Hollywood cross on top of the Ford Amphitheater, I don't exactly know what that looks like, but it's a vibe, and I fuck with it.
And he also talks about almost every single one of these, especially the things in LA, like Sunset Strip and stuff. He talks about those things ad nauseum on his podcast. So that's what this is made for, was the book before us. So it's like, you have heard this. He actually got approached by publishers and was like, okay, I'll write the book now and write it and put out a book. So I do think, as we said, it was meant to be like a companion to the podcast. 27 bi-weekly episodes. What's that, a year essentially? And it's, I love it too, but you're right. Like those kind of like Spanish names and like, or even like Native American names that California has, they do sound cool. Like you just like take a right on, what is it? Valencia or something.
La Cienega, which I like for no real reason.
No reason. Not the suffix or anything like that. Just the,
they don't allow them there, but
where'd you see one now? But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's I guess let's talk about some of the major plot points. It's tough to go linear, jump around all you want. I think I think the first lunch that they have with Robert, where everything's just off. I think that one's that's really cool. And I also think, like I said, the Buckley Griffin. Do you guys have anything at the beginning of the book?
I loved in the first act when he follows Robert, and Robert like breaks hard and then starts following him into the mall.
To the mall,
And then Bret is watching him in the mall. When he's watching him in the food court, like walking around all these girls and how he is like licking an ice cream cone and talking to them, it makes him so sinister. And that's one of the great things about this book too, is how spooky Robert Mallory is, and by the end, how pathetic and normal he is.
Yeah.
Well, not normal, but like human he is.
Regular
by the end
mentally ill, yeah.
Yeah, regular mentally ill. And when they finally meet in front of the Gap, where they're both staring at jeans. This is pre-iPhone, so like, what else do? You just look at jeans in the Gap window.
Put on your ski mask, rape porn later, and
yeah. He's like, I don't like being followed, dude. I don't like being followed.
Yeah.
And they're doing that back and forth, like, who's following you? What do you mean you don't know who's following me? What do you mean? What do I mean? Like that endless vortex of dialogue. I was just like, fuck, what the like, god damn, they're gonna kiss each other or kill each other, which they end up doing both. Oddly.
But it is like a Kafka dream noir. A lot of the book, like where it's just like circular conversations, especially like one of the what my least favorite character in the book, Steven Reinhardt. I want to stab him.
Dude, Steven sucks ass.
I
man.
fucking hate that. But we all know a guy like that where they ask you an open-ended question and then you always say the wrong answer no matter what.
I just thought you were smarter than this.
Oh,
I just thought you would be smart.
Yeah. Oh, you ordered a drink, huh? Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
interesting.
Yeah. Hey, look, Bret, don't call here again.
Yeah.
I like when he gets all butch on the phone when
You
Linda's
should've
mad
known.
at the end.
Known.
Yeah. It's like, shut the fuck up, Steven.
And he's a failed script. He's a failed screenwriter too, which I love.
Steven sucks, dude.
He's a literally. He's worse than the trawler.
Yeah.
like
because the whole time he's doing this, but he's facilitating. Bret was okay with being molested, but he's the handler.
You
for
procure boy pussy for Terry Schaefer.
Yeah, he's.
That's what you do for a living. You do nothing else.
Steven, I need bussy. Hurry.
I love Terry. Terry rocks.
Yeah.
Terry's actually really funny.
Because Terry, like, they introduced Terry as like, there's no surprise that he's gay. I mean, like, I think he like lets you know right away that Terry's gay, but he's clearly a famous film producer, and I do believe that he's a real person too.
He's Harvey Weinstein.
I know, right? But he's Debbie Schaefer's father, who is Bret's girlfriend, but he's gay, so it's his girlfriend. And Terry always lets all the boys and the girls come over and like swim in the pool, and like, he's like, hey, you guys want to go swimming? You sure? No, you guys want to, like...
Dude, when he calls Bret on the phone, he's like, hey Bret, how's your dick? Just kidding. How are you?
I love it. I thought he was the best, man. Like, and they said he looked like Lindsey Buckingham too, which is so funny, like the Fleetwood Mac guy. Like, I love picturing him with like the little Malcolm Gladwell hair and shit. Like, and but
Terry's great.
Terry's great, but Terry is really good to let Bret know that he's not an adult yet. That's like what his purpose is in the book, besides obviously the literal things that happen. But like Bret the whole time is getting played by Terry because he's like, oh yeah, sure, I want to hear your screenplay, Bret. Like the screenplay you can write, because it's basically known that Terry is on like, he's wearing a Michael Mann thief like t-shirt by the pool, and like Chariots of Fire, all these big films that he allegedly would have been involved in. And so he's like, yeah, Bret, let's go out to lunch. I want to hear your screenplay idea and stuff like that. And even if Bret knew like, oh, this guy might want a little something else, he thought like, well, I'll probably still get the screenplay deal. And he realized like halfway through, when shit gets really real, after the second meeting, when they go to the Beverly Hills Hotel, and Terry's just like naked and stoned, like under the robe. And he's like, shit. He's like, I don't think I'm ready to be an adult yet.
Yeah. I love that scene too. So there's two things about these Terry scenes that I like. The first time that he goes, I like that he takes him to the gayest bar ever.
Trump's,
and dudes are like walking by and being like, nice, dude. Nice. Good catch. And then with the bathrobe scene, Bret has a moment where he pushes back a little. He says, no, I am going to tell you about my screenplay. And he says that Terry stares at him blank face for 30 minutes while he stumbles through a pitch. and then once he's done, Terry's like, "Great, let's do it. That's fine. Take your dick out."
Take your dick out. And then they both bust in each other's mouth in 69.
69. Yeah, they 69.
And he tries to smash, put his dick in Bret's ass, and then tries to like two finger him and cuts him with his fingernail. And he was like, no, Terry, no. And but they both the
Terry's
writing.
like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
The writing of it, the graphic medical book, like very medical terminology. It seemed of like semen dripping. I was like, it's the sex is really funny too, because then when he's like, there's those scenes where he's like fucking Debbie, who's obviously like gorgeous, right? Like he's written as like this gorgeous woman, but it's like that's like a horror part for straight guys, because he's like, yeah, and then like her tits were in my mouth and all that stuff, and I'm fucking her and all that stuff, and then I started thinking about Matt's tight asshole, and you're like, fuck, dude. He's like, I busted so hard, like
why?
Yeah.
It's
like,
like
I was rocking with you for a sec, dude. Like,
oh my god, it reminds me like when you beat off to porn or whatever, you're like, don't come when the dude's on the screen, like you gotta try to time it, and then it would go in like the dude's face going like, ugh! You're like, oh fuck, I'm gay now. God damn it.
You just dribble. Fucking sucks, dude.
it's like that Cat Williams joint when he's like, I'm not anti-gay, I just want to know, like, have y'all tried pussy? Have you tried pussy? And Brett's like, yeah, I have, and I prefer butthole.
And I found it wanting.
There were elements of it that didn't work.
Didn't work. I was thinking about this while listening to Rick Astley, "Never Gonna Give You Up," in the car.
Squeeze's second album, their leap into post-punk, or leap out of new wave into post-punk, was playing, and I was thinking about just always.
And I thought to myself, that pussy just ain't hitting.
Yeah.
So
I want to hear a Cat Williams commentary to accompany the Shards audiobook.
Yeah. Oh no,
it's just oh hell no.
Oh hell no.
any of those black dudes that pretend they've never heard Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On" and like didn't get 1 million views, being like, oh, this shit go, like, those videos. That's the biggest grift for black people ever. It's just
bigger than DEI.
It's bigger than DEI. It's bigger than anything. But listen to the whole Shards and react to it on your Patreon. You're a black guy.
Live react to Shards, and it's when he first talks about wanting to put his tongue in Matt's asshole, and a black dude just goes like,
What? Yeah, does the drop the headphones, walk around the room.
He's got the Jamaican air horn.
That thing when they
pause,
go to the back,
brother.
They go to the back and they leave the room. They open the door like 5 times and shut it again.
Yeah. And then they go grab their brother. Come on, listen to this. Come on, man. This shit is crazy. Yeah. Pause, brother. Pause. Yeah. And smash like and subscribe. Hit the merch scores. Hit the merch store. But the Terry scenes are great. Terry's good in my book. I you know what? And it's that part's probably tough for like people that are excited about contemporary fiction in 2023 or whatever. That part's probably tough. They want to have like I'm actually interested to see, because they are doing, Bret Easton Ellis is involved in the production of the HBO miniseries that's coming out for the Shards. So I'm like, how hard are they going to go? Because he's there and he's going to have a tough time casting. They're going to give him shit for who he's going to pick, because he's going to pick great people. He's going to have the most fun of his life trying to find Tom Wright and Robert Mallory out of like a span of like guys.
He picked Jake Dean to be the guy in the canyons, which shows you just how drunk he is in his normal life. He's like, yeah, we got to have James Dean on there. Yeah, of course. Who's the worst? Have you seen the Canyons?
I have not seen it, but I know what it is.
Dude, it's rough, bro. It's rough. And you could tell that he was just like, no, we have to have him in. Yeah, he's the most beautiful man I've ever seen. For reasons.
He was interviewing Simon Rex, like Dirt Nasty or whatever. He was interviewing him. And I guess like Simon Rex back in the day, like did some like jerk off videos for guys like to make some money and stuff. This is back in like the 90s. And like, he was like getting emotional, like talking to Bret Easton Ellis. And he's like, yeah. And it's like, it was like embarrassing. I just like didn't want to do that. But like, and I did it. And he's like, it's there. I don't run from it, but like it's really sad. And Bret's like, well, it was terrific, Simon. And he's like, it's so good. It's like he's like the guy's like he's like asking him a Kleenex box and shit. Like he's like, if you care to read, yeah, okay, I guess we won't redo it. Yeah.
he takes the tissue from the box and then takes a double glance at the box.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god,
These
I'm
tissues
crying
have
right now.
Yeah,
multiple
I do.
purposes.
It is.
It's the funniest shit I've ever heard.
It's so funny because he's like, well, I quite liked it, Simon.
So I love as a classic homophobe with a lot of gay friends.
Mhm.
I'll just be the one to say it. It's because the book is so earnest. I'll just be earnest. I love all the gay fantasy shit in this.
The best.
It's
Gay
like
sex in books is great. It's the Drake meme. It's like the Drake meme, like gay sex in movies. Nah, gay sex in books, and you start pointing at it.
yeah. Gay shit in movies. Turn it off.
Yeah, gross. I don't know.
No, yeah, stop. Why? You do you drop the popcorn? Come on.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
no, I don't know what. Like this book feels like it goes so hard in so many different ways. Like it gets the horniness. I just like when things commit to the bit.
Oh yeah.
I think it's because contemporary fiction, you don't read a lot of it, and there's not a lot of it that I can suggest really.
Right.
You're on the right track.
Other than the two people I'm talking to, yeah, I was saying it's not much.
yeah. L Nash's Deliver Me goes hard in a similar way, and she fucks with Bret Easton Ellis.
Sure, she interviewed him. It was a great interview.
Yeah. I just you don't get this transgressive shit a whole lot anymore, and the whole commitment to going in that hard without doing the like. It's like what makes podcasting really good is don't equivocate ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much equivocation in books, and it's like, do y'all do realize this is fiction? You can say and do whatever you want, and you still equivocate.
Yeah.
It's fiction. It's made up. Cut dogs' heads off. Shove fish in chicks' pussies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make cults. Have nasty ass, gay, gross sex.
Nasty ass.
It's so gross.
Nasty ass. Yeah, I mean, no,
nasty ass. But your nasty ass.
And to hear him say it is crazy on the page. And not that like it's shocking that he would say it. It's just like,
well, he says it's so nonchalant, like the things that
because he thinks it's great, and we're like, oh god, gross.
Yeah,
I realized like, I wanted to lick his armpit, and I wanted to sniff his balls.
I know. And keeping Matt Kellner, his murdered gay lover, keeping the jockey boxer shorts, just grabbing them. And after mourning your friend, just grabbing him like, I gotta run.
I gotta sniff these, bro.
Yeah. So tight.
And then he steals Robert's shorts too. He's got kind of a James Elroy. He's a reverse panty sniffer.
Freezing breath on the window pane, lying and waiting. A man in the dark in a picture frame, so mystic and soulful. A voice reaching out in a piercing cry, it stays with you until
I love the dynamic between the two. And there's a part I want to say Act 2, like where Bret decides he's going to be the new Bret, and he's like, I'm not going to trip off shit anymore. I'm going to follow Robert Mallory, and I want to hear David, because David has some takes on this too. But you notice Robert's not as confident at that point. Robert becomes weird, like outwardly weird. rather than rather than just Bret's recollection of how weird he was, because Robert doesn't do a lot of weird things until the second and third act. But Bret's like this, I'm not going to do drugs except on the weekends. I'm, all these like quasi sober things. I'm going to eat all the food Rosa makes me and nothing else, and whatever. And he's like refreshed, and then Robert starts kind of like having his weird kind of like chimp out weird things that we all had been warned about. Even during that time when they say Robert, like, he kind of like, it's a weird spoil thing that he does. I'd love to hear your takes on this too, guys. Is like, it's a spoiler, not really, but just to say, I think a third of the way through the book, he says Robert raped his sister and what was the other thing? Pushed or his mom
killed his mom,
mysterious death, like, or something like that. Where you're kind of like, he doesn't address that for like chapters upon chapters later, but it's just they just say it. So I guess for David, you had some things you wanted to say about the middle kind of second act of this book, but like I want to hear your thoughts on that too. Just when you decide to just go, oh, by the way, this guy did this. Like, when do you decide as an author that's like, it's crazy to do? I feel like it's something you want to hold back a little more, but it works.
Well, no, it does work. I think that the way that he does it in this book is so brilliant because it's a technique to keep people guessing. Okay, because at different points in this book, I thought that Debbie died. I thought that Susan died.
Yeah.
I thought that Tom died. Matt, which does happen, because he when he gives these revelations, he says them in such a way that it's kind of vague. He's like, after what happened to Debbie, or after I never talked to Debbie again, or the last time I saw Susan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it would be a spoiler if he only did it for things that actually happened in the book, but he does it multiple times for multiple different things. So it kind of keeps you guessing as to what exactly is going to happen. And I found myself at different points in the book being like, oh, okay, cool. Tom went to hang out with his dad and look at colleges in New York. So he's safe. He's cool.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but then Tom comes back and you're like, oh, fuck. Now he's back. It creates this, I don't know, just kind of zone of danger for the characters that where you don't really know and so when he talks about Matt Kellner's death and then shows that it happens, that's him showing that he's not lying. When it's like it's getting you to trust him as an author. Like, when I say something bad is going to happen to somebody, this is what I mean. So that then when he does it with Susan, Tom, Debbie, I think even Ryan at one point, which nothing happens to Ryan really. No. You start thinking like, oh fuck, like everybody's in danger. And that's the overall goal of it. The goal of it is to create this atmosphere of paranoia and danger where you don't know what's going to happen to anybody at any time.
And the dread too, just the constant dread. To me, I feel like dread is the new horror in a sense, where it's like you have to go extreme horror now to actually satisfy the horror community, right? Because like the big problem with people, if you show them a 70s horror movie, they're just like, well, so what, an iron rod goes through the guy? All right, cool. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. It's a thing that you have to constantly be getting more extreme. However, I think dread is something that everyone's felt. It's something that I felt like 4 hours ago. Shit. You know what I mean? It just happens. And I think the constant dread, like, just one of the parts I'll say is when he goes and talks to the principal, when Bret goes and talks to the principal and tries and lays out his theory, and the guy's just like, actually, dude, I think you're fucking weird, man. And like, you know, and it's a very tough conversation. It's like, oh my God, like, because you know, I have this Columbo ass like theory that I've laid out, and it kind of checks out, at least something for you to take a look at, especially with this new guy that nobody knows. Him saying that Robert Mallory is the killer, is the trawler, is responsible for Matt Kellner's death, and there's just that dread of like knowing you're like, he's not going to believe you, you know, and just it
turns out, by the way, that Dr. what's his name, Dr. Croft, is actually right.
Yeah.
That's what's fucked up. Once you read the whole book, you're like, oh, because the whole time you're listening to it, you're like, listen to him. Why doesn't anybody believe all Bret's? Come on,
he manipulates the hell out of you. He knows exactly what you want out of the book and what you don't know that you want out of the book. That's what I love about Bret Easton Ellis. It's like what you want is like, I got this narrator. He's the smartest guy in the world. That's my Bret. I love him. My favorite. He's gonna take me through this journey. It's gonna have a few twists and turns. And then you realize you're like, man, what this fucking gay lying ass gay guy? Like, just kind of like because the whole time it's teased. Right, like that, Bret, you're the writer, you're gonna embellish things, you're just an author, like you always do this. And
he does. He does. He actually does.
Yeah, exactly.
The big twist at the end, I was listening to it, and it was kind of that thing that you just said of like giving you what you want and what you didn't know that you want, because it made me think, on paper, summarizing truncating what happens in this book, it's not that shocking of a twist. It's like, no, okay, yeah, I could see it going there, but going on this journey with it and just not like, I guess kind of not expecting it to happen in this, even though it's one of those like, yeah, gotcha. It's kind of like, I don't know. It just it's. I've been thinking about payoffs lately and giving people what they want, because I've been really into Yellowstone. I finally jumped on that, and I'm like, I've burned through 3 seasons like within a week, and it's just so many payoffs, and I'm thinking all this subversion that I've thought was just the best shit for the longest time is like, nah, give people what they want.
Yeah.
And now, after so many years of subversion, just seeing payoffs like that, like the twist in the Shards, is like, oh man, he really did that. Holy, I was in the truck, I was like punching the ceiling. I was like, what the fuck? And then caught myself like, that ain't that big of a twist.
It's not. I'm not going to tell people what it is. But if I told you, you'd be like, "Oh, cool, whatever." I like that sounds like something that could happen. However, the twist is that you've trusted this guy for like 400 pages or however many hours. You're just like, this guy knows he knows every song that's ever come out. He knows every street in LA. It's his memory, and then you realize you're like, oh no, this is like, I could be having a conversation with this guy in a mental hospital right now.
Yeah. And he frames it as what happens to him and his friends.
Right.
Everything that he says is like, I'm going to tell you the story about what happened to us.
Yeah. And
that puts you in a very specific frame of mind.
And it's also the one time, that twist is the one time you see Susan really show like I guess not the one time she slaps Tom at the homecoming float thing where she trips out, but she still isn't the most hysterical one out of them. Tom is like going kind of crazy, but that's that twist when when she's recovering and stuff and she freaks out. It's like, it's kind of shocking when you're just like picturing this like kind of Twin Peaksy style, like over the top, like freak out. You're like, holy shit, this became like a real soap at he has like a soap switch that he can turn on and off.
The gaslighting that happens in that scene too is so like fucked up.
He's
it's
a
like,
savage, dude.
We had to then we escorted her away because there was urine on the bed. It's like,
yeah,
there's urine on the bed. Yeah, I wonder where that came from.
And her hand is broken.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's crazy.
Talking around it's hard, but yeah.
Again, like people, I you can listen to it quite fast. I am surprised when I look at the size of the book compared to how fast I listened to it twice. I was like, oh, I got through that really fast. And but yeah, a couple big parts. I think another one of my favorite scenes is the in the space, which is the big.
Oh, I love that.
Which is it's very cinematic. Very HBO. Sam Levinson can have a real like blue where they have a
that's
video.
coming to the end of Act 1. That's like the climax of Act 1.
And that's where when Robert really opens up and starts saying a little dirty talk, little locker room talk to Bret.
Yeah, he calls pussy a honeypot, which I like, and I'm going to start using.
Yeah, that's and then he switches to the asshole.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm my tongue on her tight little asshole or whatever. And you're just like,
Mhm.
and like, Bret is like, if you said that about my asshole, dude, I'm down, but don't talk about my friend Susan like that. You know, like,
Bro, you can say anything you want about my asshole, but my
Tom.
friends,
or Tom's,
but
ass.
my friends,
yeah.
Bro,
you can fuck Tom. It's just Susan, because Susan is like the Virgin Mary of the story. Like she is this immaculate woman. Like you talk, like it's just classic like 80s like Farrah Fawcett hair, early 80s like chick and stuff, and everybody wants to be her, and they do a good job of like building her up, and then Robert's just like, I'll fuck her. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I'll, which is like how the guy would look at that, and it's but it's they're in this space, and then all of a sudden it's not nearly as shocking to Bret as what Robert admits. There's a girl who gets her eye cut out in a bathroom by the weird hippie Riders of the Afterlife cult people. And it's like kind of one of those unofficial warehouse spaces that like only weird Hollywood kids would ever have a space to, but that scene's really cool. I also like when Matt Kellner, again, this is jumping around, it's not linear, sorry guys, but it's Matt Kellner when he first gets serious about being stalked. Because have you ever had that friend that like you have never had a serious conversation with, and then they are serious one time and it's really scary? You're like, whoa, this is like you could be speaking Polish to me right now. Like where he's just like, no, dude, I'm getting stalked. This is crazy. And like after a while, he was always like a one-word answer, laughing as an answer kind of guy. And when he starts this book has a horror switch, it has a soap switch, it has a noir switch, like a kind of Brian De Palma body double kind of switch to it that he can turn off and on. And he said he wanted to write this book for so many years, but he wrote it at the right time. I don't think he could have wrote this at the height of his like party New York, like doing fucking coke with Jay McInerney every day till like 4 a.m. I don't think this book wouldn't hit like that. I don't think.
No, it's the right time for
our
sure.
Our homie Chris Sagnuson pulling him out of the bathroom stall.
Yeah,
Bret,
my buddy.
It's time to get back in the car, Bret.
Yeah, my buddy who I do Lost Explorers with was Bret's handler for a while.
Whoa.
And he was like, yeah, David, I had to pull him out of a lot of bathroom stalls where he was apparently he would just hide in bathroom stalls and do coke. But to your point about like the friend who gets like really serious, the first thing that comes to mind, I had a buddy named Ryan. Ryan
Vaughn that you had sex with?
yeah. That I tongued his pink little asshole.
Nice.
You weren't gay though.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
He was he was class conscious too, so it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he was a mechanic. But Ryan is one of those dudes. Like everybody has a friend who's like his whole life revolves around beer and like drinking beer.
He'd
be like, "Oh, bro, I kill a 24 of Keystone every night," like that kind of guy. And so we'd party. We partied a lot. I'd known him since the 6th grade, and I'd never once seen him be serious.
Yeah.
So one night, Ryan got way too drunk. He blacked out, and I was awake, wired up on his couch, and I saw him stumble into his living room, walk over to his dryer, open it, and piss inside the dryer, right? Yeah. And I was like, Ryan, what are you doing, dude? And he looked at me. He's like, and so he went to bed. So fast forward, literally 10 years later, this was like 2 years ago. We're adults, right? And I got a fire going in my backyard. I invite Ryan over. He's got a huge 24-pack of beers. And he's big laugher, like a Stavros type dude, right? Sure. Like laughs at everything. But as the night went on and we got like 6 or 7 beers deep, he looked at me just like dead serious. He was like, "Did you piss in my dryer? Be real with me right now, bro. Was that you? Did you do that?" And I was like, "No, that was you." He's like, "No, it fucking wasn't. It was you." So that was like my Shards. I was just saying
he should write. I think he needs to write the book, or you can write it as him, as the Shards. Where he's like, I was trying to find the guy who pissed in my.
I kind of think David's pulling a Bret accusing Robert of being the killer right now, because
whole time it was me.
David's a serial pisser when he's drunk.
Yeah, I know. And then all of a sudden she comes in and she has like a screaming fit, seeing David pissing it again at like broad daylight with his ski mask on. Yeah. Oh no! Yeah, and yeah.
She noticed the slightly brown stain on my cufflink.
She looked down at my pants.
I pissed all over my. I had pissed all over my Osiris D3s, which I had. I had gone for the matted gray color, which didn't hold piss as well when you think about it. It was a debate between me and my parents. But yeah, I love. I mean, look, this is the vibe of the book, though. When you read it, because you're laughing, and then you're terrified, then you laugh, and then you're like hyper invested in some shit you would never get invested in. And like, there's even times where I think there's certain dread to it where when Robert becomes Susan's like actual like.
I was so heartbroken for Tom, dude.
I felt bad for Tom, even though you knew Tom was about to go ham at UCLA. But yeah, he was going to get active, but
yeah,
at the time that sucks because it was supposed to be like they were supposed to be like almost like a political couple at that point. And that's not just some like lame high school somewhere too. That's like actually a high school where like people become famous and shit. So it's like, you know, they actually could have been something. And but when Robert kind of like takes the place and Tom's gone for like a week, and they're like, oh yeah, we kind of like forgot about Tom for a while, or like Bret was the only guy that remembered Tom. And everybody, and I remember thinking that when that happened in high school, thinking like all these people were going to be my friends for the rest of my life. I don't talk to Cy's the only guy I talked to from high school. and like even him and I didn't even like see each other for like years for a while, like just because he's fucking doesn't own technology randomly at times. But the fact that you're like, oh shit, actually it doesn't, like, because when Matt gets killed, nobody was friends with Matt except Bret. So it's like, okay, I see how school could move on. But when like Tom is Buckley High, and then the fact that like Robert just slides in and just becomes Tom, where it's like Tom is a role, not a person. That's always that for some reason that like that got me. And I think as you get older, you get a little more sensitive to things like that. Like I think that's why Bret wrote this book at age 59 or whatever. I think he's like, I'm a little more sensitive to this shit now. You know, like actually like the instead of just being that ironically detached guy that we love him for, there's actually like, damn, the stakes are high here, man. Tom Wright. We love Tom Wright.
Yeah, there's a much higher level of that dread and connectedness, with this being the man, because I feel like Rules of Attraction, there was more earnestness in it in a way.
In the characters.
Right, we talked about that, like how hyper like serious everything was to the characters. Less Than Zero was like the opposite of that, but everything like it all had, especially when you get into American Psycho, which was my introduction to Ellis, was American Psycho, so I knew he had this satirical like approach to things. And he refers to himself as a satirist a lot. But this is like the least satirical we've ever seen him. No. Which gives it just, even to the point where like he just goes in. I was thinking, holy shit, this is how you write a fucking memoir. He just says how he's a writer and everybody knows it, and he's working on this book. And so that's one of the things you immediately trust him, because it's like, oh, it's Bret Easton Ellis. And he's like, I'm this character named Bret, and I'm writing Less Than Zero.
I've read that book. Yeah, I know that's a real book that I've read.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which to me, you'd kind of skirt around it being a book. You'd be like, no, I want the writer needs to disappear. I'm not here. You know, I'm this ethereal being hovering over the narrative or whatever.
Do you think, though, that there still is, again, dancing around the ending a little bit, do you think that maybe the fact is that we're the mark, the reader, at the end a little bit? in a sense that like the characters are kind of the things we all laugh at in a lot of Bret Easton Ellis books. We laugh a little bit at like Blair just being annoying in Less Than Zero. We laugh at Sean and I already forgot his little gay lover friend. But we laugh at that because it's kind of like we're above them a little bit, kind of like we're the all-seeing eye along with Bret, and he's kind of like nudging us, like look at this shit, dude, like kind of like that. But then at the end of the Shards, are we the mark? Are we the one? Are we? That's why I wonder, because we bought in that he was the archive, the only guy with acts that actually could tell the story. But we're at mercy to him. You trusted me for so long. I wonder. I kind of felt like at the end he was like he smashed the satire button a little bit.
Oh, he did. Yeah, it's like this is an unreliable narrator as one that I've never seen before.
Right.
Because it's functioning on so many levels where off rip in American Psycho, you can understand that this is an unreliable narrator. Right. This one, he's so reliable. And then the tables turn, but they turn in a way that you're like, but you're still hinting that it's like he's the one letting you know that he's unreliable, which an unreliable narrator wouldn't do. So you go, wait, fuck, am I supposed to still trust you? Because you're the one, I didn't put the clues together. You're the one who is suggesting that I shouldn't really be trusting everything you're saying, which means should I be trusting you more? Like, he messes with your brain in ways that I've never really, I haven't really experienced a narrator this type. Really, this is something different.
Yeah, it was like a trick shot, a guy that can make a shot like a little trick shot hockey player guy like for YouTube where he's like, watch, I'll fucking make you believe me, but I'll do it in this weird ass way, and then there's like, like the unreliable narrator. I think people roll their eyes because it's such a I read books term, but it's true. I love it. You have like you said, the one that announces it right away, American Psycho. Notes from Underground, Dostoevsky. This guy's a fucking loser. You know what I mean? Right when it first starts, and you're just gonna because he's like, I'll beat anyone's ass. I'm fucking smarter than this guy. I don't care. And that he's not. But it's just like I think that's why it works so well as a podcast companion, as the way it was originally written, because you're just like, he's gonna interview Quentin Tarantino after this about the same movie theater that fucking he saw Robert Mallory in The Shining. For that.
I never saw that movie. I never saw that movie, Brett.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like that's where it's like, man, it's like I pay this guy fucking $5 a month to learn about everything. And then his book is going to be basically spoken to me in the same way. And then at the end, he's going to just wink at me, like he's just going to wink at me a little bit and be like, all right, what do you think? And you're like, you motherfucker. But it's like, you motherfucker, you got me. You know what I mean? Like, you got me. You got me to the point where it's like, I could have probably, I thought the killer was Ryan Vaughn for a long time. I thought Ryan Vaughn, I was like, he's going to do this shit where like Ryan, because there's the part, and I want to talk about this, the tape. The Maxell cassette with Bret with 2 T's. And I thought that was a trick that Debbie and Ryan used to play on him. Was like, oh, we put an extra T on your name. It's such like a private school fag thing that they would do, I guess. And but anyways, the tape is jarring. I don't know how it reads in the book. I'm sure it's scary in the book, but in audio, as Kelby said, it is terrifying because Bret Easton Ellis does a serial killer, scary guy voice.
And I got to go back and listen because that's when I started reading.
Oh, bro, God,
yeah. It's so scary. Because he goes, eat it. That's how he says it like that. And it's like, it's not that the voice, it's him doing you're like, you did the voice. And
well, he says that in the description of it too. Even reading it, what comes off as so chilling is that he's acknowledging that it sounds hokey and Halloween-y, right?
Oh,
like it's somebody doing a voice.
You're right though.
But,
yeah.
And I don't know what it is about that makes it more scary. It's it's something about like the artifice of it making it spookier, I guess. But yeah, I was reading that scene while my students were reading Jurassic Park.
Base.
And I
Gain
was
of fiction,
like-
gain of fiction fucking class that you got
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. The gain of fiction class. And I remember the bell rang and they were like, "Oh wow, this hour went by fast." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool. Bye everybody." Yeah, and I was just reading, a poor kid. The fact that he's made to sing a song while he's eating his own fish too.
Yeah.
It's the scariest part of the book.
So for
sure.
people who haven't read it, Matt Kellner is, as we said earlier, kind of his lovable stoner Jewish loner boyfriend that he has secret gay sex hookups in a pool house with, who they have a little bit of a falling out, which all this comes into play at the end when you realize the twist that's happened. You're like, wait, that's kind of crazy. And they have a little bit of a falling out, and all of a sudden, there's these little signs that Matt's fish are missing out of his tank. And what happened to your fish? He's like, I don't know. And so the
furniture rearranged.
rearranged.
He has a new poster for Foreigner 4.
Foreigner 4. And there with a pentagram drawn on it afterwards, which is kind of crazy. And then, but the tape, after Matt's long dead, he's been gone and kind of forgotten by everybody except Bret. And he gets a tape and he thinks it's a mixtape or whatever from either Debbie or Ryan. Haha, very funny. And he pops it in on like the fucking JBL surround sound system in the house. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I kept hearing the Santa Ana winds blowing outside. And then he put on his JBL or his little like Walkman cassette. He put the tape in there and he's like, no, this shit's on the tape. And then all of a sudden he hears like a whimpering voice and then a horror movie voice. He points out the whimpering voice, probably from the sex, identified as Matt. And Matt is being forced to eat his own fish, which were later found digested in his stomach in the autopsy, in another crazy scene with his dad. But yeah, it's nuts. It's very drawn out. And he's like, you like the cock in your ass? That's how he says it. Did you like when the cock was in your asshole? It's like, it's fun. And while this guy's eating his own fish and he's basically on Quaaludes and LSD at the same time when a guy has a weird mask on. That's fucking crazy. There's
something about artifice that's super scary. And I think it goes back to this. When I was growing up, there was this kid named Kennedy who we all fucked with. He was a juggalo. And he had like really fucked up teeth. And so we all fucked with him because he was small and, call him gay and stuff like that. But around high school, he started to like kind of affect an artificial gangster persona. Long story short, Kennedy is in jail for committing murder. And so there's something really spooky about artifice because people who are willing to commit to the cringe of being artificial like that are also willing to commit to the bit of killing people.
Sure.
So to me, artifice is in a lot of ways a lot scarier than if you try to make horror real. I mean, the scariest bits of David Lynch movies are the ones that seem the most artificial, when there's a strobe light flickering and somebody who's clearly wearing a Halloween mask or whatever. But it gets you more than like the A24, we're going to subtly make this horror seem real. It's not real. What's so unreal about it is what's scary. And if you accentuate those things by having somebody talk in a Halloween voice and make a person sing while they're being forced to eat their living fish, so much more scary than just like a real psychopath.
And it was the Year of the Cat, the song, which is a dork song. Like if you ever hear it, it's like, it's okay. It's just like a folksy kind of Cat Stevens-y style song. It's just I thought it was Cat Stevens, but it's not originally. But it's just crazy.
I got you. That's all I want. I won't forget. That's a whole lot. I don't go out. Not now that you're in. Sometimes we shout.
other part I love is that like weekend of sex with Ryan is so funny. Like, because that's we alluded it to earlier, where he becomes like dirtbag left after, but right. I guess he said the sex was hot with Ryan because it needed to happen, which I thought was an interesting line. And then the minute Ryan started talking, he was like, "Fuck." Like the minute Ryan started like just being like, these rich people don't know anything, and he's just like, which there's probably a little bit of stuff going on at home with BEE, I think a little bit where that was I'm not gonna. There's like a 1% chance he'll listen to this, I think. So I'm not gonna say anything
Brett.
more. Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude? My
Go
name's
on Gain of Fiction.
Oh God, I would. He doesn't do other podcasts now. He just won't do it. He turned down Timcast, dude.
He turned down Timcast?
He turned down Timcast because he had Shane
poor
Cashman
Tim.
on. He had Shane Cashman on, who I like. He had Shane Cashman on. Shane Cashman was like, "Hey, cool. You want, like, you know, classic when you like vibe with somebody. You're like, hey, come on, my." And he's just like, "Nah." And, and he's just like, nah, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, and you got to do it in person.
So alpha.
Oh, I know. That's the thing. It's just like the guy, like even his like porn addiction is cool. You know what I mean? Like just there's so much stuff like with that. Like he makes like his alcoholism is cool. Like alcohol sounds really fun. Like I read James Ellroy, Cold 6000. At no point does alcohol sound good in that book. 700 pages
or
of
American Tabloid.
American Tabloid. No, because Elroy was like, yeah, it's no cotton ball stuffed with dexatropholine or whatever. Like, so it's it can't be. Yeah, it's like, you know, but Bret Easton Ellis,
like the Ward Littell arc of American Tabloid is like the most scary alcoholic arc in any book ever. Like Ward Littell goes off. That's. But I know you've already talked about that book. So.
Correct. No, I love the callbacks to that. But I'm always fascinated. I always look for that in books. Does alcohol sound good?
Or Quaaludes and Valium,
yeah.
which I've never liked any of that shit. And I've like, damn, he's talking about how it makes him chill.
I know.
Like,
Valium.
I wonder.
Valium's fun. Yeah, that's fun when you have an older relative.
One time, and I was like, nope, never again.
I liked it too much, and I was like, I can't. Yeah.
I like being edgy and feeling scared all the time. That's how I get through the day.
It's true.
So
as you get older, that actually kind of factors into, I think, why this book was written and the timing that it was. I think you tend to like be at peace with your quirks, you know, a little bit as you get older. Like for me, like if I was doing this in like my early 20s, I'd be like I'd have a persona, I'd have all sorts of you know, like security clearances that you have to get to like find out what I'm actually like. But now I'm just like, I am like a anxious weird guy, you know, like that just talks out of his ass and stuff. Like I am that.
I
so
did
now
100
it's roll.
I did 137 episodes of a show where I talk to writers, and every episode is me being like, "Oh, cool. So, what's your book about?" And then I finally do Agitator, and I'm like, gay faggot, blah, blah, blah. And I feel so much better after I do that.
Yeah, and then you'll be like, damn, was I like too much myself? And then somebody will DM and be like, hey, dude, I fucking love that gay faggot thing that you said, dude. That was the coolest thing I've ever heard.
And then they'll follow it up with like, so what you reading? And you're like, this feels good. We were talking about authenticity recently, and I want to just. We need to do like a podcast just on authenticity and what the fuck that is. But like you get to a point where you're like, I'm too old to be anything but myself because anything else is exhausting. Having to commit to all that shit. Like,
yeah, it just feels like this book, and perhaps it isn't, but this book feels like it is Bret. Like it's just like, damn, this is you. Like this is all your horny little quirks. This is all your even your delusions and your realizations at the same time. Like moments of clarity, all that stuff is in there, and that's what I like about it so much. Another scene I love is the well, actually, let's talk a little bit more about Robert, because Robert Mallory is he is like the Orwellian eye of the book, even more so than Bret, I think. Like, because Bret's like, oh, I know everything that happens, but like Robert is never caught off guard by anything Bret's done. He's beat him to every punch. He talks to Principal Croft before Bret ever does.
Everybody tells him everything that Bret says.
Yeah, the women suck, dude. Because like Bret
they tell everything. He's like, look, I'll keep your secret if you keep mine, and they're like, okay. And then they immediately go. They go and fucking tell the person what he said.
I don't think men can be friends with women, dude. I'm just saying. Like,
even when
even
Susan swore Bret to silence. Susan's the first to tell. It's like,
well, and she goes too. She says they're at Palm Springs, and Bret follows Susan and Robert to Palm Springs and like sees them in like this Mexican cantina together, and he's supposed to report all funny business to Tom, and he said Susan catches him. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he's like, okay, she goes, you can't tell Tom. He's like, all right, well then don't tell Robert. She goes, I don't know if I can do that. And he's like, what? Like,
when I read that part of the book, I was like, yo, fuck this.
Fucking
when she
Ray
got her
Rice
titty
there,
cut
dude.
off, dude, I was like, serves you right, frankly.
Dude, when she is attacked by the trawler is like
it's brutal.
The cutting of the and then like he has that like Michael Crichton level. It's like, well, she felt a tug and it didn't feel like she got stabbed, but then she looked down and it was a pool of blood. You're like, that's always scarier to me than like the flesh was tearing and ripping from shred to shred and like monster truck jam shit. Like,
and he describes it too, though. Like the tit is just like hanging like a ball of nerves and meat. Just like, dude, it's rough.
And he cuts his favorite parts of you notice too. It's Bret's favorite features get cut on both people. He loves Susan's tits, and Tom gets his ass cut down to his hamstring.
Oh, that's so smart. No, that's really good. I didn't notice that.
On second read, I will say if you're into this book for the mystery, you can re-listen to it and you'll catch way more. Like you're like, oh shit, you're like, motherfucker, it was there the whole time. So yeah, it's really interesting. I love
all
the scene
the fetish objects get cut basically.
And like Matt's abs were all fucked up. I think there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of things that went that way. So I don't know. I think he had a little fun with us on that one. But the scene with the aunt. What's her name? Something Mallory. Abby Mallory. That's her name. Robert Mallory's aunt.
She sucks too, but yeah,
she sucks. She definitely is not cool because like she's just getting like wine drunk, and that's I think anybody who's complaining about the circular conversations, they probably hate this scene more than anything because it's a lot of that. What are you saying, Bret? I'm not saying anything, Abby. I just want to know. It's just all the like that happening.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know? I'm telling you, I want to know why he was there. Where is there?
That's how all my dreams are. That's how all my dreams are. I think that's why I relate to this book. And when he said
that's why the book is a dream. Yeah,
it's a dream. It's basically altering reality in a dream, but you're having a tough time doing it. I feel like you're just like, damn, dude.
Yeah, because the conversation feels like the dreams, like where you're like trying to run. And you feel like you're trying to run as hard as you can, but you're not getting anywhere. Those are the combos.
Yeah, you're trying to just like shoot everybody, but the gun won't spray.
Yeah. Or you punch somebody and it's like,
man, that shit sucks.
Yeah, and or like you try to have sex and you're just like, I have what do I do? And then you're just like, and then everyone's like, girls like, what do you like?
Everyone, the fucking eyes wide shut audience around you.
No, the camera pans out and everybody's watching you. Yeah. It's just
and they're like,
was that a dream?
Like, fucker, pussy.
Then you realize,
like, I don't know what that means.
Then you realize you're eating fish on Quaaludes.
Do you like the cock? You like the cock in your asshole?
It's like, well, no, I don't.
Yeah, I took much care for it. Yeah, and it's oh man, yeah. There's do you guys have any other moments from the book? Because I know I'm missing a bunch. You guys got to read it. It's amazing. There's so much.
The Intruder.
The Intruder was great.
Bret versus the Intruder.
Yeah.
That was intense. And it was like, now it makes a little bit more sense going back. I want to reread it knowing what I know now and be like, what's going on here? Because even while first listening to it, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like something felt off. Like it felt tense, like, oh God, somebody's in the house. But it also felt like, what exactly is happening?
Where are you
here?
talking about
It
where the
feels-
guy's shining the light inside the
Yeah,
house?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah, that
mhm,
felt like very like a Michael Mann kind of like movie, like or like
Mhm.
those like 90s like crazy action thrillers and stuff where it's like a killer outside the house with the flashlight. Yeah. Exactly. That scene's great. I also like the party with all the superstars where Robert's like tripping out and then all of a sudden Robert gets hit on by Terry.
he throws his ass off a balcony.
Or does he? Or does
Dude,
he?
Robert is so clutch. Like,
Yeah.
whereas Brett went with it, Terry grabbed his dick and he tossed that motherfucker off a balcony.
One of
Just
the
like, woo.
one of the best parts, and it sounds like a fucking Jack Mason take, like in this book, which I view them as like a lineage too, like what I mean, like, and he says when Tom's like, he's like, what do you think of Robert, Tom? And Tom's like, I don't know, I think that guy's fucking gay, like I think he's gay. And then he's like, he's not gay. And he's just like, no man, I think that guy's totally gay. and then like he's like, straight people have no fucking clue like who's gay and who's not,
Like who's actually gay. Yeah. Oh, by the way, something just clicked with the throwing thing. So Robert threw his mom off the balcony, allegedly. He threw Terry off, allegedly. How does he try to kill Brett?
the ledge,
Tries to throw him off the balcony.
and then how does he
that all, and then he falls off the balcony.
fucking
That just
dude.
clicked.
He has a
Yeah,
little
just- dude.
parkour L fail compilation.
Huge L.
It's like, Tom Wright makes the jump. Just saying, like he makes that jump with flag. What's that?
I did get a little bit autistic with this book, and it's so long, 600 pages, 23 hours. But Ellis actually has the axe and the midpoint character turn precise, just nailed. So the first third of the book ends with Matt Kellner's death. That's the end of Act 1. Then we're in the second act, and then there's the midpoint, right? Because the midpoint happens halfway through the second act. That's when Brett decides to become the tangible participant, and then the scene right after that is somebody snooping around. Is the scene that Kelby mentioned? The second act ends at exactly 2/3 through the book, like exactly. That is when Brett finds Robert and Susan together at the cantina, and then the third act begins, and it becomes total like a horror movie.
It's a horror
basically.
movie.
Yeah.
No,
it's so for as long of a book as it is, and how he was kind of writing it on the fly, it has a very keen understanding of where the turning points have to be.
He must have
these key.
He must have the craziest outline. I don't know whatever the way he outlines things, because I know when he talks about books, he's a stickler. Like he's like, his two big things is like, prose, like, do you have interesting prose, and then do you have why do I care? That's like his two things. He's like, if the subject matter, it's not about like sci-fi or whatever genre, it's just like, but why do I care about these characters? And in this book, like, you could pick up this book and be like, why would I give a fuck about any of these people? But you do. And you like, you care about it more than the thing you're doing while you're listening to it. Like, you're like, life does not seem to exist. And the way he talks about it when he's tracking down Robert Mallory, he's like, oh, my regular life didn't seem to like exist at that point. I would just go through the motions and I would lose memory, which is kind of how I am with this show. Like, my job, I don't even like remember what I did at work today, but when I hop in on here, it's like when you have that obsession, that true like passion that doesn't really have a clock in, clock out, kind of paycheck statement or whatever that you can pay bills with and stuff like that. This show is that for me, and I love it because listening to the story, it's like I didn't care about anything else that was happening except these fucking rich high school kids. That's all I cared about.
Yeah,
That's
my
all I
son was
cared
trying to be like, "Hey, Dad, Green Goblin," and I was like, "Shut the fuck up."
Fuck him, dude.
Yeah.
Susan Reynolds, dude. Susan Reynolds
I
is
want to
fucking doing
know,
coke with Robert Mallory by herself.
dude. You are trying to tell me about Green Goblin, and Debbie Schaefer's horse just got mutilated.
Oh God,
Oh,
the horse.
The horse is crazy. I forgot about it when I
did too,
the first time I had forgotten about it. I was like, that was out of my mind, and then I was like, oh shit, the horse gets got, dude, and it's like bad.
Yeah.
It's like David
And
Fincher's Seven. Yeah,
It's funny though, because like the killer makes it have googly eyes, and
Uh-huh.
its tongue is coming out. So it's also kind of, and it's also sitting like a person with its legs splayed out. It's a funny image if it wasn't, mutilated.
Well, that's part of the uncanny terror of it. Like, to me, that's like it's so artificial the way that they reconstruct this dead horse that I thought it was fucking disgusting. Like, it was super disturbing. I didn't think it was fun. It's a funny like horse with googly eyes, like, but
yeah,
I was grossed out even more than
or
gay
the body
sex.
at the
That grossed
end.
me out.
The body at the end with like the cat coming out of the pussy and the
that
dog's
was crazy,
snout
dude.
coming out of the ass, right? And it's all an offering. It's an offering to the god. It's hard to talk about without spoiling, but
it is.
I'll say this: I really like how, in a lot of these type of books, there's one bad guy, but in the Shards, there's three.
Yeah.
There's the cult with the trawler. There's Robert Mallory, and then there's Bret. And what each of that triangle is responsible for is vague, but it's cool that it's like it's not one thing. It's like three different things happening.
Hey, keep going. I can hear you guys. I'm just gonna take a leak.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Fight Club condenses everything that came before into one central character to blame. It like folds it all in and goes, this is who it was the whole time. The Shards maintains that triangle even with the twist. It's like,
right. It's like Brett's not good. He's not the hero, but he's also not like the ultimate bad guy either.
Yeah.
He's just another bad dude doing bad things in this, milieu of bad people doing bad things.
I also appreciate that it maintains mystery even with, like, no matter how many times you reread this, I feel like there will still be interpretation upon interpretation. And that's something that, like, you just don't see a lot of anymore. Things either have to be so ambiguous that mystery, there's nothing there. There's no clues there because it's too ambiguous. It's like, oh, well, nothing gets resolved. Haha, you're stupid. We're A24. Or everything gets perfectly wrapped up and explained.
I hate that. I hate the leave some up. I just need a good climax, man. Just give me a good climax. I love, like, that's why I love old, like, 50s and 60s movies, because they'll just kill the bad guy and then the movie's over. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go, dude. Like, I don't need you to resolve anything, man. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm done. Like, one of my favorite lines from the book is when all the failed sex attempts with Debbie are really funny. I feel bad for Debbie. I think Debbie has it.
I did feel bad for Debbie.
She loses her horse. Her dad's gay with her boyfriend,
but she's also fucking a bass player, so also kind of fuck her.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So but one of the parts where he's like, Debbie's like really horny and like throws him on a bed at like some party. I think it's one of the first times of the sex, and he says she started uselessly sucking my cock. It got me good. He just starts fingering her, like, it's just like, fuck it, if you want to get off. And
that's the thing, from that quote where this woman was like, oh, and he can just get women off with no problem. Bret specifically says that Debbie's that kind of, we've all known that. We've all known that kind. Like, you just like press the button and
She's
it
the
goes
one who
off.
has a horse. Hello.
Yeah,
Horse girl, yeah.
exactly.
And he and she's a literally a groupie and a fucking a rock groupie that has like backstage passes to everything because of her dad. And he alludes to that. He even says he's like he learned how to eat pussy like at a functional level just to like hide from watching straight porn. He's like, I learned how to like get girls off like without having to get hard and stuff. Like he and then I remember one time he does get sucked off by Debbie and he's like, wow, he goes, that was actually top 5.
Not bad. Not
yeah,
bad.
He's like top 5 ever. Still to this day. Yeah. He's just like, man. He's like jealous of the practice she got and stuff. He's like, oh man. I was like, that's but she gets it bad, dude. Her dad's gay with her boyfriend. Her mom is just like non-factor whatsoever. Just Liz
And
Schaefer.
her mom shows her the pictures.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
Liz Schaefer sucks, dude.
Terrible. She has to deal with
Like-
Steven Reinhardt's just walking around her house all the time. Terrible.
Oh, fucking Steven Reinhardt.
Dude, I would hit him with a Greek statue in the head, like a fucking mystery, like an Agatha Christie movie with those Greek heads, conk right in the fucking back of his head. Be like, it was the trawler.
You know how you thought it was? You thought it was Ryan. I thought it was Steve for a while.
Yeah,
I thought
Steve.
Was
But I it's funny because like the ending is so you could if somebody tells you the story like in 5 minutes, like the plot points, you could be like, oh, I bet X happened, and you might be able to solve that. But then like I said, if you read 400 pages of convincing narrative recollection over like 40,
like, is it?
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, you motherfucker, you were fucking, yeah, it's just damn, yeah.
I started to suspect that Robert was more innocent, but then, like you said, Bret would come out and be like, and then when I found out what Robert had done, you're like, God, well, okay, well, maybe he isn't.
Yeah, and Robert's just like, I mean, he did still like, he is still a weirdo.
He raped his 12-year-old sister.
He is still a weirdo. Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like Robert's like exonerated, but not really. You know what I mean? Like he's still there's still allegations.
Nobody's really good except for Tom. Tom's
great.
Really good person.
Tom's great. He goes and looks at colleges just to hang out with his dad.
Yeah,
like colleges he's not going to go to. Just to
then he comes back and he's just like kind of bummed because he knows something's wrong. He's like,
I know.
Susan, I think, is fucking around.
Bless
whoever,
you feel bad for the guy.
Whoever the real Tom Wright is, I feel like this book was just written to prove how amazing Tom is. It was just written as a horny ode to Tom.
Oh,
how beautiful he is.
Yeah, and like, but the thing is constantly going back to wanting to fuck Robert Mallory is like such a great plot device too, though. I love it. It's just like every time Robert does some stuff and like he'll be like, and Robert got in my face. What the fuck are you talking about? And I smelled his Aramis cologne and I fucking got hard. And you're like, oh shit. Like it is cool. Like that's a good, like that is like that. You don't see that all the time. Cause it's like you're after a while, like at no point is he completely repulsed with Robert Mallory ever. He believes that he's done this, and this, but he's always just like, God, I still would.
Yeah,
I still fucking would.
I wonder what it's like to read this gay, because
I wonder.
It's got this element. Yeah, you would. It's got this element of like Japaneseness to it, where a lot of the reason that David and I fuck with Japanese shit so hard is because it's so foreign. We don't get it. We don't understand the culture. Everything is a mystery because we're not Japanese. We're like, what the fuck? This shit is weird. Why would you do that? And it's the same with this. It's so gay that I'm like, I might as well be reading French. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. If Robert Mallory was as bad as our narrator thinks he is, all the gay guys reading this would still fuck Robert Mallory. And in fact, probably get more turned on if they're like, yeah, they're like, I'll shave for you. I'll shave.
I
for
really
you.
do like that as like this. Like if you're a straight dude who wants to understand gay people, read the Shards. It's like you could think a guy is literally trying to kill you, and you'll still be like, I wonder what that dick do though.
Yeah. Oh, when Robert has his chimp out mode in the pool. And like
he's like, oh, his biceps were rippling.
And he goes, and I saw his thick cock surrounded by a bushy tuft of hair and stuff. And it's like the guy is like literally doing some like Chris Pontius fucking shit by the pool.
Bro, gays are savages, dude.
Yeah.
They can't focus.
I know. They were like, yeah, because he's like, the guy's doing like a very uncomfortable like hoe scaring move of like, because he drank like 4 margaritas while on pills, which everyone else is doing, by the way.
Yeah. But he's
I
on
love
Thorazine.
Yeah, or well, allegedly his aunt said he wasn't on Thorazine, so but he's
Oh,
on
right,
benzos.
right.
He is on benzos. Those will still
Right.
hit margaritas. I have like coworkers that do those and margaritas at lunch, so I don't know, Robert. They're built-
just to turn up.
Roberto Marori, general labor. And but the yeah, he's like yeah, that was another thing though. Bret says like, none of us took pills back then. I'm like, no, all of you guys are taking pills, but they were like not prescribed them, like the way he was like making a commentary on it now. And one thing I like about this book is that Bret, I read White, which was his like kind of
Me too.
anti-cancel culture. I kind of felt like he was trying hard on that one. You know, like I
I
liked
liked it.
It's
I
very
liked
good.
it.
It's very good, but I kind of felt like it was meant to. It was kind of like a manifesto in a way that I'm like, I'd rather see your manifesto in a fucking, in a novel, I guess, like in a like a theory fiction kind of thing,
Mhm.
which I don't think the Shards is, but like I liked White, but I was kind of like, I kind of wanted him to let me in a little bit more, a little bit more on the life and all that stuff. Whereas like the Shards is like, all right, you're just gonna hear my recollection of my life, and you can decide to believe.
Yeah, I think Bret has one more big, awesome book in him. I don't think this is his last book. Yeah,
that's
I
interesting.
think there's one more. It might be 15, 20 years. He might be an older guy.
Damn.
When he does it, but
he's gonna write his Stella Maris.
Yeah, him looking back at 2020, I think is gonna slap.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah. That would be sick. I think you're right.
Where you get White clarity, where you get like that, what he was doing, because he wrote White at the peak of that before anybody, before any of us were like, fuck this woke shit. He was ahead of it.
That's true. No, that's true.
Because I remember when it came out, it didn't make me go, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Why are you saying this? It just like, but I remember when it came out, I was like, what's he going off about? Like, what's the big deal here?
But he had the foresight, and I mean, he's a guy that got canceled. I mean, he literally got like quote unquote canceled for like American Psycho, like for writing the book. I mean, it was taken off. Like, he had a publishing advance and everything, and the publisher was like, "What the fuck?"
He couldn't go on tour. I mean,
he couldn't. Yeah, it was hate mail.
I think some Barnes and Nobles put it in plastic.
They
like
in Europe, it's still in like plastic with like a disclaimer on it, and he's like, and they said like, that's sick. He's like, this is tight. Do that with my shit, because I want the motherfucker that goes in there to be like, ooh, what's going on? It's like parental advisory.
All rappers said that.
Yeah,
like NWA. They were like, the best thing that could have happened was that parental advisory.
Yeah,
sticker.
the Tipper Gore saved rap. Who knew?
Yeah.
But
people do that when they're not on a label. They put it on there themselves. They're like, where's the 100%. Parental advisory sticker? It's like, you're independent. You could do whatever you're not beholden to the rules like that. Like, no, slap that shit on there.
Right.
Yeah. So I have one last question for you guys. Could you guys ever write your Shards?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I quit after this. This is like my last book.
Okay, you quit. So you're gonna write your Shards, your auto fiction. And I noticed now you guys. I expected a longer answer to that question, so I have one more question. Now, you guys on Agitator. In the past I've heard some disdain for auto fiction. Just a little bit, just like kind of hack, kind of lame. Did this change your mind?
Well, our disdain. So it's there's layers to that disdain.
Yeah.
David and I do,
basis, right?
Yeah, we do auto fiction almost exclusively. That's like
true.
Most of what we do. Even with David writing Cyberpunk, he's basically narrating his video game playing.
Yep.
But the auto fiction where it's a dude who lives in New York and is door dashing while, you know, going to college at night. It went like, I'm saying things that could be a Bret Easton Ellis novel, and you'd be like, okay, but that would, I don't know. Let's see. Let's let him cook. Let's see where he goes with it.
Mhm.
They're not Bret Easton Ellis.
Yeah,
Like-
if you want to see like bad auto fiction, you could read I think it's called the Topeka School, the Ben
Mhm.
Lerner book.
Yeah, let me get on
Obviously, Karl Ove Knausgaard. That shit's good. That shit slaps.
that. Uh-huh.
But I think that when it comes to auto fiction, it depends on what you're. It just all depends. It's like, what are you doing with it? Are you writing the Shards, or are you writing some dumb shit that nobody cares about? I think
So-
auto fiction also, like Kelby and I have lived very interesting
Yeah,
lives up to this point, and so did Bret.
yeah,
And a lot of these people who just kind of they got like a 4.29 in high school, went on to, you know, a regional college.
They
or,
talk about
you know,
doing
better
drugs
one.
a whole lot,
And then
it's
they
like,
do
come
drugs,
on.
and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I was there and I fucking dropped acid, bro. Who cares,
yeah.
right? How interesting was your life? If you're gonna do auto fiction, you better have had a fucking interesting life. Otherwise,
Yeah, or lie, fucking
Or
lie.
lie.
Yes.
Or
I
lie.
am so pro lying now, dude. You have no idea. Rappers, they're
It's
like, oh,
fiction.
I'm 45 years old. What am I gonna rap about? Andre 3000 said that. the other
Make
day.
it
Well, I'm
up,
going-
bitch.
Lie.
It's not real.
Fucking
Yeah.
lie. I
Mhm.
want you to lie. I don't want to know about what your life is. I want to know about what you want to talk about and what you think
Right.
sounds cool. That not
Mhm.
fucking just lie. Lie about your little lie about getting in a fucking knife fight with Robert Mallory. That's sick.
Yeah, it's
That shit is
that's the
sick as fuck.
fiction part
Yeah.
of auto
Uh-huh.
fiction, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's also not real. So I don't know. I think that it sounds like a cop out answer, but auto fiction is cool if you're doing something cool with it.
Yeah.
If it's
and
actually something that's worth
and if
reading.
you're cool too. I feel like you have.
Yeah,
to be
if
kinda
you're
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like-
You
You have to be
yeah,
a
you
person
kinda-
people want to talk to. You can't be
kinda
like an
do.
autistic fucking MFA loser.
yeah.
And then, you know, do an auto fiction book. Bro, who okay.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
back in the day, those people used to just write literary novels about being a professor that was an alcoholic, and then
Yeah.
but then white noise. You know, like
Right.
you're just like, oh, cool, sounds good. But on that note, my computer's dying, so listen to Agitator. If you're
Cool.
listening to this on Gain of Fiction, listen to it. You know, if you're listening on one feed, go to the other one. Give it $10
Go to
a
the
month.
other one.
Yeah,
Yep.
fuck.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yeah,
On
10
that
bucks.
note, guys,
Cool shows.
everyone have a safe week. I don't want to lose this episode. See you guys later.
Peace.
It's always